In 271 AD, the Roman Empire was on the brink of collapse. Barbarian invasions, economic turmoil, and political assassinations had fractured the once mighty superpower into three warring states. But one man, Emperor Aurelian, refused to let Rome fall. His solution? A monumental wall that would become the empire's lifeline, the Aurelian Wall. How did the Aurelian Wall reinforce political power and crisis management of the Roman Empire during the 3rd century? Aurelian inherited chaos. The crisis of the 3rd century saw emperors murdered in rapid succession, provinces like Gaul and Syria declaring independence, and the Germanic tribes pillaging Italy unchecked. The economic collapse, hyperinflation rendered coins worthless, Rome's borders were fluctuating, and its people demoralized. Zosmius, a Greek historian, wrote, "The Goths advanced to Rome itself, terrifying the populace, but Aurelian, a battle-hardened general, had a bold plan to encircle Rome with a wall unlike any before it." The Aurelian Wall was a feat of engineering, stretching 20 kilometers and standing 8 meters high and 3 thick. It dwarfed Rome's early defenses like the Servian Wall. Its core was concrete, faced with 6 million fire-hardened bricks. Soldiers and freed slaves worked relentlessly, encircling even distant suburbs. Aurelian's message was clear: no Roman would be left undefended. This wasn't just a wall, it was a physical and psychological shield for a crumbling empire. Each brick of the Aurelian Wall was stamped Imperator Aurelian Augustus, an official seal linking the structure to the emperor himself. These weren't just construction markers. In an age where loyalty was fragile and rivals contested every throne, the stamps were political tools. They shouted that Aurelian was Rome's rightful ruler and protector. Much like coins bearing an emperor's face, these bricks were propaganda baked in clay. Stamped bricks also acted as logistical records, helping track material supplies and labour. But more importantly, they made Aurelian's presence visible, even to citizens who never saw him in person. In a fractured empire, the wall's stamped bricks unified Rome under one name, a name fired into every inch of its last great defense. In an empire facing shortages, Aurelian mobilized everything. Military engineers led the design, but slaves, freedmen, and even local civilians were drafted into service. Bricks were fired in imperial kilns around the city, and recycled stones from old monuments filled the wall's core. Speed was essential, and some tiles were even built hollow inside to save time. The wall's 381 towers, spaced every 30 meters, gave Rome unparalleled surveillance. Guards could spot invaders miles away, while gates like Porta Appia doubled as checkpoints. Here, taxes were levied on goods entering the city, funding Aurelian's legions, as they crushed separatist states in Syria and Gaul. The walls weren't just a shield, it was a financial engine. As Dr. Clara Rossi notes, Aurelian turned defense into offense, stabilizing Rome while his armies marched outwards. For Rome's enemies, the wall was a warning. Its sheer scale projected strength, even if the empire was crumbling inside. For citizens, it restored pride. The wall outlasted emperors. In the 5th century, Honorius expended it against Visigothic raids. Medieval popes repurposed its stones for churches, like San Saba. Today it stitches together Rome's urban fabric, a reminder that resilience is etched in stone. Although the Western Empire fell in 476 AD, the wall endured for 200 years. It shielded the empire. The modern remains of the Aurelian Wall are more than relics. Their physical structure reflects choices made under extreme pressure. The variation in brickwork, the presence of recycled marble and temple stone, and the inconsistent tower interior show a state balancing speed, symbolism, and survival. These inconsistencies reveal a pragmatic Rome, willing to cut corners, reuse sacred material, and building unevenly if it meant restoring order fast. The wall's hybrid materials and rush craftsmanship aren't flaws, they're fingerprints of a crisis government. Where walls were later thickened or gates reinforced, we can trace shifts in military thinking. Where repairs use different stone, we read later priorities. In essence, the remains offer an impression of imperial fear, adaptation, and control. Aurelian wasn't building for eternity, he was building to hold the center while the edges fall apart. Today, communities gather atop these ramparts, staging concert, tours, and protests, turning once military bastions into civil stages for civil life. Scholars still chip away at mortars to unlock lost inscriptions. Even small cracks hold meaningful traces of the people who built, repaired, and reimagined the wall across centuries. The wall breathes life into Rome's living history. The Aurelian Wall saved Rome in three ways. Militarily, its towers halted invaders. Economically, tariffs funded reconquest. Symbolically, it revived belief in the empire. Aurelian didn't just repel barbarians, he rebuilt the people's faith in their destiny. As cars speed beneath these gates today, the wall whispers a timeless truth. Even in chaos, visionaries build legacies.